Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Part 25. In the previous video, we found some decisive evidence in our investigation. We found a fingerprint belonging to Jack Marshall. That's your name, right, buddy? Jack Marshall? Jake Marshall? Completely different names, not even close, not even slightly similar. I mean, why even have the word Jake if you've already got the word Jack, or vice versa? I don't know. The trial, start the trial, quick, before I make this any more awkward. The defense is hyperbolically ready, Your Honor? What does that even mean? I don't know. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? Unless you had some sort of time-traveling device of some sort. Granted, if you've had that, why would you be using it to commit petty crime? I'll have those remarks stricken from the record. Your Honor? Yes, Your Honor, that's granted. Why are you talking to yourself, Judge? What is this bit? I don't know. But I'm like, part of me is like, if I hadn't already started, I would just restart. If we hadn't already advanced the text, because I have no clue what I'm talking about. What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. And the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I'll present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In doing so, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now, that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Hey, we're here, even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? I have no clue, dude. Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For the first witness, the prosecution calls the subject of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Yes, Your Honor. Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Things are getting spicy. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Fuck you. I am Officer Mike Meekin, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. So... guilty. Alright, this trial is over. See ya for lunch. So you're telling me you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir. Why does he get his megaphone? Shouldn't they have confiscated that? Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is, sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. Shut up. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it! After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Okay. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you! That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir, and stole my wallet. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more info to work with. Alright, I assume that means press it up. Hold it! Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir. Oh. Oh, ho, 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 ho. The handprint. I'd completely forgotten about that until just now. The handprints. That's gotta be important. Oh, could we have dusted for prints on this thing? I didn't even think about that. The Blue Badger? It's a legally distinct entity from, the Blue Blur, or is that what he's called? I don't know. The lame creation known as Sonic the Hedgehog? Yes, sir, the lovely police department, mascot created by the chief of detective, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken in the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day. Wait, why would it be involved in the transferal process? I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around, and I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us, what did you see when you got there? Hold it. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is. I found it. The one right there. I mean, I guess the one that's used twice. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir. It's... Yeah, so... Let's look at it again. There's so much freaking evidence, dude. So the 450 would have probably been... Maybe he went there, put the Blue Badger in, then came back later and saw Bruce? I don't know. I see, huh? But the number, goes up twice! Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room, and the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see, so it was slow during that second time when... Or it was during... where'd I get slow from? Yes, sir, that's when I spotted the man on the security screen. Okay. I was only doing what I was trained to do! So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? I shanked his ass! I mean, with him charging in... Or with me charging in on him like that, how he was surprised as I was! You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung on my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be... stop that victim blaming, you harlot. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar, wringed his neck. I fought for my life. Then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say, did it? I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched the knife from him. You took his knife. I spun him around and formed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then... primal rage took over me. Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir! Okay. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Shit, he's got a point. Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30. He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now. So, I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. The man this officer murdered, really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins? With regard to that, sir. Take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered... Okay, yeah, more evidence tampering. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir. It's one of my home videos, sir. I'm sure you'll be quite delighted to see it. It's absolutely a videotape. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. We prefer to use forcefully kill, deprive of life, euthanize, more friendly language. Use just, what's the word I'm looking for? Deliver justice. They were asking for it. If only they just complied, I wouldn't have had to stab him. Okay, so the handprint's already there. Okay. Didn't really help. Okay, we're not done. The glove was already there. That is Goodman's locker, so you kind of have to assume that's Goodman. Granted, there are probably ways you could, like, have a fake fingerprint. Or, like, maybe you could lift a print and put it on something. Oh. I mean, it looked like Meekins is the one who died. Interesting. I mean, it's... So it's probably... I mean, it can't have been the Bruce guy. Like, I think we're just gonna have to assume that the guy we found was Bruce in the trunk, and that timeline is probably correct. Like, for now, we're going to assume that, like, that happened at the time that, you know, we were told. And so that's probably someone pretending to be Bruce, which, I mean, the only logical person that could be is old demon here. But we don't really know why he wants to... Like, what his in-game here is. I feel like it's probably that they did some shady shit. So it's either he was the serial killer in the SL9 case, or... they did some shady shit to get someone convicted just to have the case closed, so to speak, and he's trying to prevent that from being exposed? Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirring within us? What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Ah, sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Yes, well, anyway, this tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Your Honor, quit being so horny. Instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins? Ah, yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Okay, his face can't be seen in the video. Lies. Oh, this is the testimony. I can't press yet. No question, the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. He opened their locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do so. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman, sir. Can I see the video again? Does he have gloves on? Okay, a fast forward feature would be nice. Because I know a glove fell out. Because theoretically, you could maybe... It looks... I mean, he's got gloves on. Like, you could get a fingerprint and, like, transplant it maybe onto the glove so that it would open? I mean, it looks like he's got gloves on. So... Granted, we don't have any evidence that says that yet, so that's not really useful information. It's more just for theorizing. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's. It must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing! That would mean... the victim of the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. I should get one of those for my mini freezer in the back so that people will stop stealing my goddamn pizzas. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Actually, you press everything like 8 times in a row, because sometimes it'll change randomly. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not? More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you? Oh, yes, sir, but, I don't pay attention to weaklings with low power levels. I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label a person as having seen or not seen, then his face can't be identified, only you can verify it. Well, why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing? Meekins. Ugh. Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman? Tell us why you are positive it was him. About these lockers, is there no other way to open them? No, sir, I tried all kinds of methods in the past. You only respond to registered fingerprints. Registered fingerprints? I wonder what kind of methods he's tried. The man opened the locker's lock, which only responds to his registered fingerprints. Then he must be the person who the locker was assigned to. Now define registered fingerprints. Like, could they change that? Because, I mean, I would assume the chief of police maybe has some level of access to being able to change it. Oh, you know, is the light maybe already on? You can't tell because it's in black and white. So I was thinking maybe it's already open. It is already open. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So where do we present this? No one else could have unlocked it. Well, let's just press these just to make sure, but we see the contradiction. I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? Ghosts! The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They just keep me informed. They also listen to my, romantic trouble, sir. Despite my looks, I am quite the pussy slayer. I just wanted to say that in that voice. The open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. So the victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint. However, the most important detail is not shown in this videotape. The man's face. Sir. If I may say something, sir. Well, please do, after all, you're the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. You have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. I know, there's a problem. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. So good I didn't try and present a contradiction. Since I guess they probably want us to actually point at the light to be more specific. The man may not have been Detective Goodman. What? This video contains a contradiction! Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal. Yes, Mr. Edgeworth? I propose we have the defense point out to this alleged contradiction in the video. Maybe by using some sort of wireless touchscreen, they will use a device to tap on where they think the contradiction is. Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. Please show us the contradiction. Okay, I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Okay, please don't play it too many times. I can't start watching this video. Okay. Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's the contradiction? Okay. Wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. Get out of my face, nerds. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this! Emma, this is where you play the music. Officer Meekins! It's okay, you're still learning. You'll get used to better timing later on, but just be ready in a second. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand, the locker apparatus works... Not that track, Emma! The other one, the cool one! When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. Very slow pan. Yep. Oh, you don't make me watch the entire thing again, dude. They are so proud of this. They're like, we spent forever making this. We're gonna make you watch it at least 10 times. When the victim reaches the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Phoenix, stop. Here, notice the light. What's this? It's already lit! Shit's litty, bro! Precisely my point, Your Honor. Once again, this is where you would play the music, Emma. There we go! The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah! Dude, that hurt my voice. Order! Order! What's the meaning of this? It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. It was an unlocker, but the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know, it must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this. That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction. Oh, well, no, just goes to show you, novices should keep their mouths shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation? Me, Your Honor? Yes, why wasn't the locker locked? I'm just here to provide a reasonable doubt, Your Honor. Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? What are we talking about? I've been fiddling with this damn boombox for the last, like, 10 minutes. How the hell is this shit supposed to work? Maybe there's something, like, jammed in the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor. Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, obviously. I mean, come on. I've been dying to talk about it. Come on. Can't we talk about it? Pepe Sylvia. Can we talk about Pepe Sylvia, Mac? I got boxes of Pepe down here. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Why was it not locked? Well, obviously, Your Honor. I mean, the handle does look... It's got a different tint. Kind of? I mean, it just... Granted, that could just be because of the lighting effect. Something else that's suspicious. Maybe something to do with the blue badger? Like, what are you doing here, you little fuck? What are you up to? What are your secrets? Something else that is strange. That could cause the sensor to mess up. I don't know. Oh, the glove! Maybe the glove was causing it to not fall. I don't know if this is gonna... The glove caused it to not close all the way. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. If this is actually it, I'm a freaking somewhat smart person. Eyes mock me. What's this? Something white fell out of the locker. But sir, it's my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door. Please, shut up. You can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with. What do you mean? The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door? Inserted? Okay, bring the music back. I'm sorry. I should have made fun of it. It's much better than complete silence. Emma, get the boombox working, lady. That white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck on the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. And instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Extremely thin rubber glove, you fool. Look at it. Look at how thin it is. It's really not that thin, actually. It's pretty thick for a rubber glove. It's not like it's like a surgical, not like surgical, but you know, there's like super thin gloves. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would have to be an insulator. Oh, edgy, edgy, edgy. You ever heard of a little known material called rubber? Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene. There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out. Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence? Get out of my face. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker. Shut up. There's a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. This is not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir. Order! 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 Are we to believe, then, that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman? Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. That's all the defense is supposed to do. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Huh? What are we talking about? I kinda zoned out there for a second. I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. The falsified evidence, sir. Is this a joke? Very well. Begin your testimony. Mystery Man number 2! The sequel! That no one asked for! There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. Enter the evidence room. One must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. Okay, okay. Good counterpunch, Edgy. Good counterpunch. I counter with, I counter. You have activated my trap card. I counter with... What do we counter with? And the fact that the ID card, like, wasn't there? I don't know. An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 5:15 is that of the victim. Just before the crime. Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room? We're a little understaffed right now, and plus, I mean, come on, think of how many people the art department would have to draw. It's much easier if we just pretend the police department only has like 8 people in it. This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Ooh. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. So, they pinned the murder maybe on a police officer? Maybe the 4th police officer we saw in that one piece of art a couple of videos ago where it talked about, you know, Star and Jake working on the case with Goodman? It was that 4th mystery person that we didn't know who they were? Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There are only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now, let's move on to the cross-examination. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman. So unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes sir, solid as stone, sir. Hard as I am. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even get the V for victory sign, sir. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that? Absolutely not. Let's hear him out fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second. Yeah, I know what you're saying there, buddy. Press everything. I've learned my lesson by now. Is that card hanging from your neck one of these ID cards? Yes, sir. Granted, I mean, the reason actually the pressing everything kind of got me into trouble in the previous trial because I thought I'd pressed everything and didn't realize that sometimes you have to go back and press things again. And there'll be different dialogue for unexplained reasons. Yes, sir, the card, I mean, that's not unexplained. I'm being unfair, but I'm still slightly salty about it. Yes, sir, this card right next to my cup, sir. To keep it here, I won't ever forget it. But what if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Shit. Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck in when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has 1 ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Okay. Let it be noted that this is the record the witness referred to. Let me see. Yes, that would be it. Detective Goodman. What's the matter? According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Wait, what? Shh, don't stare at him. You don't mean me, right? You got the wrong color, kid. See, the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. I will never learn to regret my words nor my deeds. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth, it must be so difficult for him. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you? Ah, yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Shit, I didn't think about that either. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show him what we got. Yeah, the problem, it's so obvious. Gosh, everyone knows this. So how could he have gotten in without using an ID? But I mean, it's not that he didn't, I mean, he... So I mean, it seems like they're alluding that he didn't actually have his ID on him. Forgot about this. ID 59. The 9's kind of crossed out. That's weird. Yeah, I thought that was his police ID, but maybe that's what it's supposed to be? Piece ajar. We didn't say anything about the jar in the video, right? Because the jar was from the old crime scene, or the old crime. Nothing's jumping out at me. Nothing is jumping out. Name, Sergeant Bruce Goodman, 584-2189. What else? Letters, well, yabba dabba doo. Nothing on the spec. Does this say police department? Okay. Okay, solid as stone. I'd give the V for victory, son. Okay. Nothing to mind there. Someone were to steal it from you. Maybe I shouldn't wear it on my neck. Each police officer only has one ID. He lost his ID. He lost his ID, I think is what they're going for. I don't know where the contradiction is, though. I think it's here. Oh, we got him! Wait, one moment. Oh, that's actually a really good one. Because that's like not... Because, I mean, it's kind of like a piece of evidence you get like a long time ago. So it's not really like fresh on the memory. I actually really like that prompt. Is that... Am I only saying that because I got it right? Yes. But I do think it's a good prompt. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. I mean, that's when you were supposed to play the cool music, Emma, but this track will do. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. Okay, Emma, get it right this time. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card. A lost item report. It's only half completed. Shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right? Yes, that's my name. I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Oh, order! Order! So now, what does this all mean? It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card. Order! 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 Does the prosecution have a response? I only have one thing to say to the defense. Want to go get ice cream later? Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime... I mean, we're kind of like, we're kind of working together here because he wants to prove... Because he wants to win the other case, right? So, this whole... Or not really the other case. Like, he wants to prove that there's not actually... That, like, the police department thing wasn't a murder. So, we're kind of helping him out here, but we need to do it. The man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes. What is he up to? That being the case, he must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I mean, I guess that's right. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. Curious. This isn't gonna end well. Emma, don't play the music for him! Well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lena Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. So, Lena, what do you want for your last meal? Want something home-cooked, or... I knew the testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap, from the beginning. The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright! You have to do something, or else Lana... Object! Always be objecting. One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. But you also don't see anyone leave, right? Yeah, I didn't even think about that until now. That, you know, how could they have left? I mean, I guess they could have just walked into the camera, potentially, but... However, it cannot be said that it's unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? Sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. They have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean... Your Honor? The defense would like to request a specific witness. And, who do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify? What is his or her name? Me! Oh, we're not on here. Officer Jake Marshall, Texas Ranger. Why him? Because I want to hear him talk. I haven't got to do the southern accent much this video. I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is now in recess. Ooh, pizza, pizza. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall? Seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured out anything. Anna, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. But if I were to tell you everything, the story would be a lot less compelling, so I'm just going to remain obstinate. I don't really recall ever asking for his protection. How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. Come back later. See y'all. Don't be a stranger now. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And on top of it all off, call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey. Hey, 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 hey. I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. How's it going there, lady? It's okay, so have you brought what I asked? Oh, you mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Isn't that illegal? Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. SL9 incident? Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. Yo, lady, that's a lot of pages. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case. This guy was a witness? Joe Dark, with an E on the end, so you know he's evil. Or, I mean, granted, well, it says, I assume that's the name of the serial killer. Yeah, Joe Dark Killings, so. Perpetrator, Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder. Sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Edith Kirby, Jeb Bates, Jason Knight, Rachel Moss, Neil Marshall, Head Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses, Emma was in this. Emma, what the hell? Okay, the investigator was Gant. I think we already knew. So, the investigators were Damon, Lana, Bruce, Jake, and Angel. I can't really remember the picture we saw, the fourth person that was a part of the investigation in that one picture. I mean, it looked more like masculine than like a feminine silhouette. Granted, you know, that was the one we had the least detail on, so that could have been Damon. It could have been Lana. I don't really remember, you know, the picture that well. I just remember them flashing it up kind of quickly at one point. Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murderers. Not that I know anything about serial murderers or nothing. Don't check the river. What? Now that I brought your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, the SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. Second. Victims. Knight, Moss, Marshall, Bay... I mean, none of these names are Sky. I was thinking maybe it was like a family member or something got killed of theirs. Can't think of why Emma would be a witness, though. Joe Dark. No, no, Lana. That's over with. No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal. I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma? Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. Who's gonna play my boombox, though? Well, that's a pretty good stopping place. Also, my voice is dying. So, that's a good reason to stop as well. Alrighty. In the next video, we will maybe learn a little bit more about these Joe Dark killings. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.